Hey everybody, today we are going to be talking about blending. So when we're blending, the brushes that we're using, the water supply, all those things are very important. So the first thing that you're going to need first thing is a bowl of water. And then you do need to go pick up, if you don't already have it, an ultra fine mist sprayer. They run at $9.99 at Hobby Lobby. We've got our chalk paint. And then these are vintage tonality brushes. They're fairly inexpensive and they work really well. And you do need a nice round brush for blending. I've got the smaller one and the larger one for today. And then I've got my Walmart $6 brushes. This is typically my go-to just because I tend to go through brushes quickly. So yeah, so those are the supplies that you're gonna need. So with blending, the main thing is your water usage. Depending on the state and climate you're in, you're just gonna have to play with it. When it starts to get tacky, you don't want it getting tacky. So you have to keep misting it, but you also need to have your mister bottle quite a ways back because you don't want to be saturating it so much that it's dripping. So for this piece, I'm doing more of a harsh blend. I'm using black and white. I'm gonna be using a wood grain tool over it. So it's not gonna be perfect, and that's okay. But I do want black up on these edges. CC Restyled, if you have a second to check out her tutorials, she's really good at blending harsh colors next to each other. So I'm gonna get my black there, and then I'm gonna get my white. And these two brushes you want to keep separate so that you can have a pure color, especially with your white. So I've put them next to each other. Now I'm going to mist this to make sure that it's got some moisture, and I'm going to come in with my large round brush, and I'm just going to go along where they meet, and I'm going to blend that. Now with a harsh blend, you are going to be obviously telling where black to gray to white. With a softer blend, if you have colors that are closer together, like this white and gray, you could blend this much softer if those were the only two colors you were using, and especially if you had a larger surface area that you were working on. But for this blend is fine with me. It's going to be a bit of a harsher blend. So I'm gonna continue along. I want some black back here in this corner. The other thing with the mister brush and with blending is that if you get a section just the way you want it, then I typically would hold up my brush and mist my brush or dip my brush in my water instead of spraying the piece, because I don't want watermarks where I've already blended if I like that, because then I'd have to go back over it to get rid of those watermarks. So it's really just a lot of playing with the colors. You don't want to overwork them because you'll end up with, gray or whatever the mix of colors is all over your piece. So I'm going to come in like this. As you can see in that one, I have more water, and you're getting more of a watercolor effect, and I've got some dripping. So I want to dry my round brush off on my rags, and I'm going to come back in here and feather that out a bit better. If one section gets too light or too dark, I can come back in with my white and add a bit more white right over here. This is getting tacky, so I'm gonna spray from way back here to add a bit of moisture. I can add some white, and then I'm gonna dry my big round brush off and come back in and incorporate those two colors. So it's a lot of finessing, and it does take some getting used to. If this is too gray, I want it darker, got to come back in with my black. and pull that towards my white. So it is a lot of playing with it, and you just have to keep that paint from getting tacky, from feeling tacky. And you just have to keep playing with it until you get the look that you want. So this is a harsher blend, and tomorrow we'll be doing a tutorial using the wood tool over top of this. And I'm gonna, once this dries up, I'm gonna add some more white into some of these patches, because I want the wood grain to be predominantly white. So, but that's a small tutorial on blending some harsh colors.